There are a lot of conversation around this aura thing. Nipa bebre ashasiya. Committee ni nyan shasiya nye na juma krano. Se utie some of the comment for some people from some quarters in an for no what they are seeking to suggest is a hun here. A binus krasi a nimra kwemu and whole lot of conversation around it. I don't know. Proud to this whole election. Adia bakwane ye major problem for Ghana for over the years, has to do with corruption. Enti say corruption wasam na yaka proud to the elections then a be sacred responsibility for new government na what take over no say Ghana for akoma so ade ne say nipa ye bo muti su so modo mo nsa bo oman mu afa oman ni sika no. There is the need for us to make sure say ya no mo bedi ya no mu di no say obi ekọ which hanti obi na mom say ye no kram pass obi de nsa bo Ghana sika mo. Then there is the need for Ghana for omu na ye nsa kan ye sika back. So it is at the back of that your friend is saying demand from Ghanaians, and Mahama banker said then he will recover every looting will be will be recovered through that particular your friend saying we now the by operation recover your friend say all loot no buy. So if today power abba can sa then also follow through with that particular your friend say promise now make it to Ghanaians, because so we had the rate at which an corruption air cost will chroma from 2017 up to date. The instances of political corruption yenya under President Akufo-Addo no yakasa ye number enya de se ye bewie Ghana sika senka ye development for the people of this country afa kwati kwan so akodi nipa kuma bi nsam aban sa ase asabi ada krom ha from Rollins pens so asabi na oye so jani anka obetim de patapa ena nibre agisa japade na chama na busuafo no. Rollins anyasa sa japade we nkrofo we fa kwan bi so asesa sa niema ni nyina boso because yenya power enti yensesa sa niema no se me no wogetum na megetum say indeed sa niema we yakoso okroma then ade be na be ye obi ya say yes set up a committee na committee ni dwumadie ho nsem a abaye we in the first place omo modi kan TV so a omo keka nsem say na commission no kra ni legal background any it is not regulated within any legal framework bia and your witch hunting just nsem na manfo kan nyina. To be very honest with you nsem hunu any reasonable grounds bia, because in the first place Ora na committee na President Mahama as it stands now, or your president-elect, only executive power to set up a commission and as until say be sworn in, and or set up a preparatory committee. That committee no juma one. Obien who okwata mo man sika de atu omoka say oh mo ye committee and mo ye juma mo man nti or minor is financing you. So now see this oral committee as just a platformer. Their job is to receive complaints, evidence, information from Ghanaians. Because this committee any prosecutorial power, prosecutorial authority or do be court. Jumadi omudia ne say o evidence say obia for man asase. O evidence say obia wi o man say o man we ya o evidence afabra. Yet the say we will forward it to the appropriate institutions or more prosecutorial powers and authority to take the issue up. And then Bonnie na house same way mu. I know a man for TSC abontin na omu ni powers be because sa adwuma na ora no ba be ye no. Enkrofukuo bi ye bi wo krom hadada. Nobody has questioned their legal authority and as a constitutional authority in as a forum. Manasa Azure, for instance, adwuma na oil true for state in investigative platforms, information na onya no mfiri soro na eba o nipa na de koma no anase amanfo na inform ana ono ate ana wawurawuram anya ba na de no on go to the prosecution because he's a media man or an investigation or yet an investigation in wurawuram na onya wi ana de ne say ode baba beto abonti ama Ghana fo ahu say manasa me yam investigation de mahunie enti say state no a state na said yes wunya sa evidence na go ahead to prosecute. And this oral committee, is that they don't need any legal framework because they are not going to prosecute anybody. They are there to receive complaints and into modern numbers, emails, telephone numbers, and then as a for about say Ebo Ghana for in the last 8 years, corruption upon corruption in some coso. Wow, any information, hard evidence, core evidence, solid enough. Betting ya boyan. Ama yetimi apini some individuals ye free so mabokro no ye benya evidence no momfamra na se ora no nya saa niema we ya their job is to segment these complaints because there are some they will have to go to Yoko, there are some they will have to go to special prosecutor, and some the AGR or bar will take them up. And what is this whole noise about legal authority? What legal authority do they need as a committee? Just a conduit, just a platform. Their job is to just receive information from people. Wow, you can equally create a platform. Say, we have evidence. So, be about corona fabric. Me devika command attorney general. Na me devika command special prosecutor. So, be this argument na enyo mind sika na yedi tuya na ka. Or mine is not financing anybody, then a dear man ya crime. I think that this is something and go be a crowd should welcome it. Yama ye nije. Say, yenya such your friends and a committee, omo yenya is dedicated towards omo boyan to fight issues of political corruption. Abaye so entrenched and deep rooted in our politics. Because you cannot convince me. Say, in some Akoso Okroma in the last 7 years and 8 years under Akufo-Addo government, we can just brush it aside. And I say, because governance it wasn't a court. Happened. It was sumase. They lived in an offices, operated in offices. They operated with people everywhere. And there are Ghana for asabi, omo politicians, omo krano want more information than abayi mumpenim for. Because oko ministries, oko various offices in Nasefonoma, there are people there. I been me a civil servant. Nema ekosono bebre ayawe, but because omuni to mean tino, omun to mean can be a yansasi a yatonwa. A man for a yaji or monsasi through omun semne Nasefonum. People are aware. So Ghana forward a lot of information. Such a platform now we're creating because you are when you are sem onimba bia odeko. And when you abanya or say okay, ma set up a committee. Who complain or issue, I just go to them. Committee, is not going to prosecute anybody. Their job is to say or receive whether they can do further digging to get better and better particulars. And now say forward it to the appropriate institutions and legally, or more mandate to take issues of prosecution. Their job is to use state resources to dig deeper. And as a investigate to get evidence, hardcore evidence. I would do court for. Ubetimi who say yes and same will be default because it's not going to be try and error. Go in the panel crowd what the back court. Na evidence and just solid enough near Botugu or the another person called another person. The energy a womb crown a back form. This is a collective effort. Our government try to get Ghanaians involved. Say we are Ghana near. So wo hohoi o techimai o drop o sunyan a hefana war. Nasa uwo evidence a bit me aboyen amaya gata strong evidence enough. Yes, I'm for disika. Bonnie ben the womb, I'm for aquatina social media and other platforms. Omatrio Monwesi so na ora ya witch hunting na ora. Come on. It doesn't make sense. So I think that this whole thing around where people just want to use some of these and these tactics just to warp the spirit of a man for or more yes and way, but to me it will not fly. Come here, there are substantive issues I'm expecting say you better divulge into. For instance, PDS. Are you telling me say PDS we should just let it slide? My culture how this whole thing started. America Power Initiative Ghana fortunately enough on a part of America. Abraham Obama, your president initiative say more energy sector no ye betimi afa kwan bi so aboa mo na to do that no more engage private sector because a private sector participation bama ebema efficiency akosoro because the ntia no more kasa ne say wo he ECG a sa manfo produce powers no power no mo do mo so mo nkoton a ombeba no na ekasu so about 42% of omu revenue no omu lose to both commercial and technical losses. Company be any who will lose almost by 32 of your revenue to technical and we are benya bibi because abaya jumani no cost of kwaje revenue na kwaje ya fence sa we no na so kwana se nipa na ntua ma na mfa no ho because abaya juma na yesa na kana brobro agu so enti amanfo aton power na omode ama ECG so nkoton no okoton a ebia emu 40% and otimi recover ni nyina de aka nyina hye. So the only way I bet me assure say private sector bam na ni sika kodim dia or the nibre ne ne den ba gege sa sika no enti allow private sector participation na sa moye sa ye wo sika de beboa mo akufo ado abusuafo te sa asem na no mko for me PDS eno mo akeka mo ho bom and company no all the legal requirement as a winner financial guarantees ne nasefo as a winner ansa na wadi mu ansa na yama akwan am obaye sanse mu ba wumia fa nyansa kwan so waiver sa na ma ni nyina ma nkrofoko ebenya access to your taxes are not more ECG bills for several months in this country when that particular thing was a Ponzi scheme. And I'm so Emma scandal new blow you know. The videos and the audios were all over. What TV me TV? Nanka Ghana for expertise President Akufo-Addo betena se aka se ade wo ya ba Ghana for TB de ma menya investigation kra mfa ho. America ban na all my yensa sika no de abufuo e suspend ye 190 million choppable American dollars asanka ya ba ye ho. That particular money a shere Ghana. Are you telling me that this particular thing should not be investigated? Nasa Ghana need in China sa our evidence. A man and fan concoma committee, ama committee no international can near my mum and fan concoma AG. Man prosecute you. As will be a coming up with such initiative. At the end of your bonnet for home. Are you telling me that the PDS should just be allowed just like that? And several other instances of political corruption across Okroma. For instance, the National Cathedral ya asama da bia ya kan. At the time of minor Ghana for dia bene. E ka mene yan hu de ye. Na aban President Akufo-Addo timi fa ne pem kwatam oman sika over $25 million eko sign say monje na monfa nye seed money abra Ghana for ye nkwotena baabi ankase ye pese ese cathedral ba obi se ono na akoso ne de patapa ye po ye mpo de sika besi cathedral nsem no koba ye no Shraj kra say the whole contract na ye ma ye no was fraudulent anyame na America Shraj say contract na ye de man say ye nsi asore dan na e cost over $365 million no Shraj say that particular contract was fraudulent. And are you saying say we should just let it go? Ghana for sika ko uram ye $58 million. Are you saying say it should just go? Na say Ghana ni bi wo baabi na or evidence betimi aboa amayakeka bom because abahen na oba no may have information but they may not have all the information no. And some of the evidence na such that enkrofo we ko bone ewo mutim ti ombefa nyansa kwan so ahyehye no asai bi wo hwehwe awonsa nka. So it is only a collaborative effort from the new government and the people of this country to come together and say oh evidence ya it doesn't matter how small you can never tell. Asa sa niema we nyina eba na ekeka bom na amamfo de be fight aboa ama de yesi ye pene ye nsa aka. What is all this fuss about this whole thing? And clearly you could see say the same media surrogate now who couldn't survive because the new media has taken over no. They are the very people who are out there. Our more tries on beside me agu abangarim in this particular regard. My culture said the era where we say ye nyina ye nyankopon manti yamfancha sang sem hunu na atwam in our politics, because the very moment a state begin to show weakness and mercy to people who go against the state, that particular country is done. And something I'm looking forward to say. Asemna President Mahama kase obe fight corruption. I don't was setting up this aura at this early stage, and conquer just political talk. Na could do a na software na him for the namuni a patcha when ye jai, ye basa or minor bo. Because the impression that will be created, ne say, whoever gets power be an oba, ubitimia the open offer already. This is the time for us to set a stage for a new government, say, enough of that nonsense. Ghana 4 have overwhelmingly voted to embarrass Akufo-Addo and Nabang, say enough of the political corruption. The resources available to Ghana 4, no, ye make good use of it. Say by ye betting benefit Ghana 4. Now few people ne omobusian for emfa in the name of politics emeje emoso enka say yene ye wa aban mu yana omonto abama yana yenim nyansa achen obia yana ya ban wo so. Na manfo mfa arrogance ne kokoti because he kwan na Akufo-Addo nam so ana okasa kire Ghana 4 kwan na papa bi yesi efe no wuntumi kwatena radio so sabe nkrase kasa ne nsama yenka nkire nipa na omote radio so na omokeka na emu abronye and some other people and na menchen sanema we nyina akoso. And I think that this is the time ese emu no kra no ba abonten nsam na akoso de, but until say a court of competent jurisdiction ebetimi assess all relevant evidence amanfo de bekwa kogu nanim amana hu say indeed nipa we di for anase nipa we di for. It's too early for anybody to sit anywhere and say and after all, President Mahama onya swear in, he has every power to appoint whoever, set up any committee, commission to do any investigation that he wants. See, he swear in as president, and he's really committed say a person fighting corruption. Me say he has the absolute power and authority to set up any committee, commission, or any investigative body. Make sure say so obia disikano or kase obego after that person. There is no law a ban from doing that. And he can equally resource the already existing institutions or more powers to prosecute, like the AG, like the special prosecutor, and several other, because special prosecutor Akufo-Addo baye a white elephant in the siwo nyansa sembien free mumaye a resources na ye wasting no makacho say we government now opesa fight corruption. It's not about the many institutions you set up, but it is about your commitment. But this ORA 10 is not an institution. It is a committee that has been set up to receive complaints. Keke. So binding to me, no say about more certain legal backing be. Now are more prosecutorial powers. That is up to the government or the president to exercise that discretion. But as it stands now, it is just a platform that is to receive complaints. Across the MTN call center. Sanity. And they say, hello, Mahusa Manfo, ye say, wa me evidence in here, and I'm on. You go, you delve deeper. Because there are some of the evidence I'll be at the preliminary stage, they can't even, your friends say, stand any evidential test. Because the propensity of maybe the evidential value, will be so low. So what the actually but you need to weigh. Say by a man phone consistency, who be unfound court na and conquer. Yes, the judiciary overwhelmed with issues because Omokas a man form far by a man form fan Samra and some amount for the Baba Ukrumano. I'm telling you, sir, and ya the ketwa. So you need such a team, people with that vast experience, that kind of knowledge, understanding into issues like this. Now, Omobehu. Which of the issues and our grounding enough evidence woho I nuntino say a court for betting standing the test of time. So once set up such a team, you won't get such information. And then one that committee babonti, I'm told they've received over 700 petitions in less than a week. 700 petitions, more less than a week. A child say Ghana for are willing to provide information. So what baby a man kwatena baby in kase witch hunting. Mete say osofu bi say enye de hia no na ye to abama say o ma fix economy. Ya to abama ne say eya na ebinum aya na ebinum yare. If you are ignorant, just shut up, go and sit somewhere. Obi enu ho to abama President Mahama say omra me fix economy nko a. Makacho say the major determinant factor Ghana for the Kotuaba is to go after people who have stolen from this country. And we are suffering now to baby. Now we could new opportunity. Now if you don't have anything sensible to say, just shut up. Maybe issues of governance, politics, modern day, your mind, your brain belongs to antiquity. We understand. Just go. Kofa Genesis, go and preach to your church members. Maybe this is not your fault. Just shut up, go. Because I'm telling you, sir, the most essential part of this whole responsibility of Ghana for the top President Mahama Bati to go after people who are milking the state. That is the foremost responsibility. Because if we don't, way na yan set example. Any economy be a build in the future, criminals will come and destroy it, and we will come to point zero. That's exactly why we are here today. Look at where we are, and we also for now obey your mind to this particular way. You are not even ashamed to say, yan twaba man said teaching crew for your twaba man said fix the economy. Only why na twaba man campaign or more ye a we've never even heard you, we never even heard your voices. Amidst of all the nasty stuff Akufo-Addo and his people were doing in this country, you never found your voice. Suddenly, some of you are emerging. Professor Nana no mi kuha na yese fe na dey say na mete say o ma obi advice. Nobody needs your advice, Mr. Man. Ghana is here because of greedy folks like you. And he was criticizing Akufo-Addo here and then as a forum. Because these are greedy people, you can't even take them serious. Because until said no yeah not just Bekasa. Because Akufo-Addo shall say all born mine way no. And yeah yo or shall see 2017. Or shall see 2017. But because these people had their belly full, they all kept quiet until Abraya the war money. Amwako baraka hubi. Yet the war and he was all over the platforms, chastising, bastardizing. Now he suddenly found sense in Samana Yamubika since 2016. And now when you buy our bar, already show dedication, say, oh, Ghana for more how back when you chrono yabomo, enti media, me baba buamo, ama ya fight here. Then you tell them, say, yan to aba man, say, mo make chechi a man for. Now abano uvo to wombs yes and research bang and away yeah why na wundi di come or catch us say Ghana for am to aba say ya mechichi. I am telling you, say, the most important responsibility a Ghana for expected from the new government, one year, a man form will never forgive the president and say, letting these people go scot-free. Maybe also for maybe now you're so ignorant, you don't even know what has happened. But I'm telling you, just take your time. Just look at how these people have messed up with this economy. Then you take institutions like Bank of Ghana. How come one person in 1 year ebetimia boka over $60 billion? 60 billion Ghana cedis. 60 billion Ghana cedis. Maybe people understand. And now grown a yedi. Is you know when Tiasia message just shut up, people a bit na. Not give the space to a man for more ready and willing. Say ombabwa. Because going after criminals are more real minor and in the best stage. At the same time, no, will prove a point to Amanfwa or more bad this new government team say and your business as usual. Or my culture say politics 2020, politics 2010, politics 2000 is different from politics today. We nima and ya buying na ba same BM. We mistake now but trem na bedim kwasasema wasomba yesi. Because first, na politics, Kufuor pencil, Rollins a pencil, na a call to be, I say, you can't call ta, I say, a month for or more yes, I'll suma say, Bibi to say, Freemason, you suma say, oh, come on, you don't even see inside. And more endless stay, few greedy guys in the traditional media. No more. I want to set the agenda, issue, no. They have access to Kokuba Kumbaka. I have intercepted this document, blah blah blah. But those people have even lost their relevance because there are bigger platforms, about innovative platforms. You can sit, meet here, minyan sati, min build it, min talk console, min sati studio, be a hana meti. But we are communicating to a lot of people out there. This is what innovation has brought in its wake. So it has rendered all these traditional belly journalists, corrupt journalists, irrelevant. Because I'm telling you, this change of government will never come. Because platform ben now also to educate one. Platform ben now also actually in same watch one. Because they will not allow you. But their relevance is gone. And the governance is an open enterprise. I prefer calling it a public enterprise. What's the office here? Ma when you are there with about thousands of people. Assembly CN. That's America betty. If something happens here in Ghana, obi ote California, obi ote New York, obi ote Hawaii, the same day, and even if documents the same day people will receive that document. Kevin Taylor and Ghana to America. But most of the exposures are through the platform no deba. So you see, governance when assistant. So it is no longer business as usual. So this particular accountability na Ghana for Bisano, or rather even send message to people who will be in this government to say, even though even though your president there, but these are the rules of engagement. If you go against it, you are done. Because I'm not sure, sir. People are so stupid. Say, Obi didn't in same hunu. Obi akofa nisika. Now when I bet na radio so be different. Such nonsense is over. Or me Obi nkonko di nisika ma me na radio so me. Adam me yare na mabodam. We can't do that. And I'm not sure, say, folks, na manfo obi disika o ye honorable. Now young people are bought, ya didn't call to crown a manfo a dear and they sanya mano, we know be a mani new wachi. You better do the right thing, and that will be good for everybody. Now my culture say government bar until the government goes rogue. Obia nu ha oya mamboye for say always is a ban be fairly. No. Obia tase support the obia beye be ma ban na so CDPR, and that is what we do until the government goes rogue. Ugo rogue the obia ni wachi, and that is a fact, because our commitment is to the people, to the constitution, and to the flag of this country. You go against it, you become the enemy of the state. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Enti asofo na mu gina platforms a na Mahama nhweso no on fix economy na man to aba ma no say ome chichi amanfo no me say if you don't have anything sensible to say, shut up. Ghana for na omoto aba ma no e ka kire ne say ome chichi ana omunya nka nche say ome chichi obia o. Yesi obia di oman sika, let the person account. And before the elections, Obi poll B, I'll find out and show it to you. The entire or to Obama President Mahama. Me say ora no a significant way, which means a lot of people voted for John Mahama because of the aura. And you think why your power no, he should abandon it? No, that can never happen. is the reason why I one of the first things obaya washa see odi hu dwuma no. And we also for now we need any support to be we a journalist now we need any support to be we a winner we need any just shut up. Just shut up. Now no matter abrante being can with TV3 I wish na me ho. Osio omo they are usurping other institutions mandate. Now me say this guy is very ignorant. This is an MPO. Or say they are usurping the mandate of special prosecutor, the mandate of the AG. Let me say, how can such a mind even qualify to sit in parliament as a Shamrama? Because the thing is a committee. They have no prosecutorial power. They have no prosecutorial authority to take anybody to court or prosecute. No. And this is a platform. They are not going to pay them. And they say your mind sika et your moka. That is how any contract be binding or more between them and the people of this country. And as it stands, President Mahama in he does not have any executive power to make any appointment under that appointment will be recognized by the Constitution. Sisi Amonoka say the legitimate president of the Republic of Ghana is still President Akufo-Addo until President Mahama is sworn in. So was set and a committee no cross at the preparatory committee. Enti ne de say moon receive information. It's like a MTN call center and I say I want for to no more info. Enti abanese no mu use authority. Enti if an MP kwatena radio so kwatena TV so na okasa ansem we ya. You know how ignorant that person can be. And you can also appreciate the entire Ghana for yawo how any problem because these are small minds sitting in that August house. These are people who are supposed to take policy initiative for us. But the thinking scope is very narrow. Very narrow. Kwa committee in kwenya to me or no prosecute one. You should know better. So what I'll say is one issue ya share ni muache. Because over the years, a man for a bokrono, a man for ba aban mu suddenly obehana we isi abrosan wa ha. There was a time I met to say as President Akufo-Addo bodyguard akosi mosque amobi. Let me see, really? So magic burn a man for ya all of a sudden or ba aban mu and you see these people are so stupid to the stand says sikano kro nya. They want to show it display for people to know say they say they are better sikafo mo na mo ye hia for no, but they forget to say before 2017 and 2016 now man for nim you live in the community with people a man for nim life anamu live overnight you become rich and you flaunt your wealth one no kura kasa wasan ba culture say na wabobra. So yama politics na ba be a certain avenue bia urema automatically you become a rich person. But the very people as a governance no benefit your mono. They don't even get it. And I spoke about something very, very important. I spoke about it because there are a lot of messages I get from people about this rent thing. Ghana has to see a way. You were mra at the krumha. Say, oh, dying now with the ma haya. You can't take more than 6 months. That bill is in parliament, yes, and go review. May extend that particular thing to 1 year. Fine. But you know, sir, because people are not interested in, landlords and caretakers at the dine, everyone can have my mom for 2 years advance, 3 years advance, 4 years advance. No magic. But all that people have to do is to enforce it. But you see, a Dayaka a state in Nasifono Mode, yes, are owned by people in power. And they will not recover their money. Because while in real estate and also another avenue, people used to wash their money. And when they do that thing, they need the money quick. So, okoye yentua ne 6 months yentua no we ya. How do I recover my money? in an event menton dino na momede rente. You see the difficulty. So time has come up. Makase, we need to put people sabi. Omuye real and genuine. Their motives are very altruistic. They are not there because maybe I have avenue to a mass world. And then you see a lot of people jumping into politics. I buy a political bandwagon. Just jump on. It's a chariot at income. Just jump on. Once you jump on, you are rich. We can't do that. And then people from other way, Obia who say, oh, I do maybe a baby and who are baby. I just say, okay, join the politics. And then look at the political stage. And in the last 8 years, we've seen a lot of idiots, a lot of fools, or taking over the political stage. Sabi, or more kasa class, what one hour now be say, hey, into your mind, we were that. Because the whole space has been monetized in such a way, say, the highest bidder will always get their way. That is the narrative we are seeking to change. And it must begin now. Because this overwhelming victory for John Mahama for these 4 years, I give us the opportunity to reset everything. To set a stage for a new Ghana. Setting the stage, will include massive constitutional changes that has to be done. Massive constitutional changes that has to be done. Because, you see, say, yeah, appointment. Come to think of it, somebody is a minister of state. I'm coming. Somebody, a minister of state, is paying good, medical, every expenses is being taken care of in an forum. But ubekom no, na other expenses or saying other nema assign kind of hono. Sahasi kanu timi take care of about 10 people on the street. Because that colonial mentality na abrofo no hamakacha say in the colonial time say obi free UK na obaha as a governor. Being here with black people was seen as a risk. Because a day will come, there can be an uprising. Yebekum. So say abrofo no the obi ba a higher. Every incentive be available they make sure say nipa no nsabeka. Enti apart from your salary, you bet me amount allowances, you bet me amount per diem, you have amount garden boy, you have amount the basic unema, you have amount bet allowance, you have amount hook allowance, you have amount wardrobe, deben. You see, in the mind of the white people, then nipa no mosuma na bahano, a risk no take. Enti oba obetime anytime, and diseases in nasa for them. So they made sure say oba comfortable. Yaji independence we no. Ana saa goodies ni nyina yasanse sama ye ho. Enti ene obi ye minister or garden boy or it's absolute nonsense. Ontua electricity, ontua water bill, a dan otim free. Na nipa na oye minister or access to big money no kra say ontimi ntua na light bill na teacher ni oti akura se a boso me yetua na ka 1,000 Ghana no on a bit me a light bill. We don't think. We don't think. Minister na order come free. Ya to petrogum free. Ontia light bill. Ontia electricity electricity bill. On ton suo or security dinechi. Ya fa gate man wo fie. Ya man rent kese enkwasi allowances. Enkwasi allowances sa na nipa dodo na ye hiafo no mo ne na moman young people will finish school national service kra no sky editu amokantimi han dan. Enti ya in such a way say when you are in power you are in control, live good. And these people, omunim power they don't go. They make sure they substitute themselves for their kids to come and take their place. Na Ghana for na mamam for Crusoe, a man for Tinria so called Italy, a man for Enam desert so called your friend is saying Croy on friend saying Libya. Ghana for na minsuo so ebinim ko Saudi Arabia. Young people, young ladies are sabi omo prime age life after no more starting no. Na ya selling omo into a modern day slavery somewhere. Na people are living large and good. But urban yet to abaman say politics no ye yama nipa ho aton. But obwa or no be yama no ho aton. So this is time for us. To go. I'm expecting that the first thing president will cancel a per diem. We need to cancel per diem across board. It doesn't matter where the person is going. Go that money now you in dollars to government appointees or 3 days. Or they can even extend it further because the more you stay, the more you get per diem. Then I say for no. That money can equally employ monthly, a bit to take care of a lot of people. Say, who go through government documents. Now, who amount of money in a year, yet in per diems, you give up on this country. You will give up. So, resetting means that all these foundational and structural problems na ekaya governance no ho a colonial mentality na ya import into a and there be a judge na okoni fi a time cause ya nkrofo bi so mo ya bosom enti everything bia ese you provide more for them to live comfortable. But if these people are living comfort at whose expense? Because the state has a responsibility to ensure that Obia will live good. It is not those about those in power. How many people can be in power? Even in government work, I'm telling you, people on government payroll, 1 million. The last time I checked, it was 800,000 and around 800,000. Ghana is about 33 million, the last count. So less than 1 million. And they take salary through control and accountant general way. My vast majority of the people, but sikani your taxes almost about half go to pay salary, emolument, allowances, and this nonsense mean. So you see, something like that to the extent say reset is not just about these issues. There are structural issues. We need to look at them. Now you address it. And institutional weaknesses and then as a form that compromises. Like some may say sometimes I'm even tired of mentioning her name. Oh no. I don't even want to talk about her. Trust again ni wo state institution any ho. And I know me say abaya biti radio so say a president or babe obianka so be pam obia o. Menyanti say president Mahama so babe pam obi. And obianka say president e wo tumi so obaya so my pam chief justice my pam EC. No. Constitutional framers no were very intelligent enough say a time will come ebia ye betimi anya a rogue person ama wetimi smuggle the way into such sensitive offices. So omoye constitution no they equally created a window say in such instances no akwanya wo ha sa nkrofo no ubetimi ayi omo free ho. Enti obi anka say president de kwakopama obi because on the face of what is there, president need to me or that so I say, oh, my pam easy boss and my pam will. But there are processes and procedures a bind bit me follow to get whoever or pebia out. So if people are saying that these people should be sacked, that they are not saying that president in Soria Masaki is him. Akufo-Addo I said that process was activated. So what makes you think say another person cannot activate it? Because even that thing will not even come from the president. It's just a matter of somebody sending a petition. And that petition, the evidential value in it, is so top notch to the extent say committee obey investigation no betimi ground the removal on something for the president to go ahead and assent to it. So there are processes and procedures that has to be followed, and they are constitutional because constitutional frameworks now created that window. Akufo-Addo by that is what Oyusu here to get J Mensah out, to get Charlotte Osei out. I say procurement and then I say fornum. Na de J Mensah nama oye. We in the power be mu da hwa. Can you even wish said that woman should be in that office for even a day? Post and postering. Kwaya mo fa so mo yo mo ne boss man sare no mo nanam hoyi. And some appointment President Akufo-Addo aye into the Electoral Commission. So who you be a wadwe mu da hwa. Now you have law for this country. Now you want our democracy to continue. Will you ever suggest to say these people should sit there? That one we leave it to Ghanaians. And my culture is a petition in the Electoral Commission. The President Mahama ready, or he will receive a lot asking for that woman's removal. Because that is what the Constitution says. I know there are those who petition for the removal of the Chief Justice already started, and some of the known partisan people on the bench are Omudi Efine and Kekaye Abeka the Supreme Court. Ne Ghana ni enya hotoso nanka obia oya parliamentary candidate for MPP our lusu election ewo whole central de ebeba na say na nipa na eba appointing so Supreme Court judge na sabi adam kra wo tima o kan yesi nipa na qualify. Now do you know the number of people who qualify in this country? It is about ethics, it is about value, it is about principle. It is about the sacred nature of the Ajumano and why public trust is essential. It's the reason why you don't fucking do that. But Akufo-Addo took everything for granted. Ofrisa Ghana for no mokasa ni no be anim nyansa. And it wasn't issue about whether you have the power to do that or not. Nobody ever challenged the constitutionality of the president's power to make any appointment. No. But we are very much concerned about ethics, values, principle. How to say obetimi win the public trust. Because nipa ni a failed parliamentary candidate obiya nim no. Ne posters ni namabonten. Institution na wodi ne kono a very sacred institution. We don't want to give it a partisan colorization. We yes sir. A man for trust beba form. Omo Kenyans asem we went ye. Nano hearing na e koso no. Sorry, lawyer no sheda. Ekojina ma me ni ka chense. Lawyer Chief Justice panel we papa we ya oteso yi. Ye minim so ye MPP ni or ye parliamentary candidate. Enti me bun to me yam se obeka panel we ho. The guy deliberately did that to expose the bench. Chief Justice Kobaya say ye nim say or MPP nina adwumadi na ye di na ha say no enya political way enya constitutional matter akokọ na de ba court and say odwan na de ba court eye nipa desani political people who are politically exposed. So the political connection cannot be disconnected. If you are smart, you know these things. Kekan niema bubo ma ne Ghana ba bedru ba bia ba bedru. Ti obi chro petition say these people should go. Don't you dare sit anywhere and say you're witch hunting. We are witcher, you will be hunted. If you are a witch, you will be hunted. And nobody is witching no witch. Nobody is hunting no witches. Unyuma ne bedi wachi. So enya witch hunting obi ankan obi a omudi asumasi court na yesi asumasi adi bema yenyina obi Ghana will continue. COVID abakrom ha manfo esu. People are scared. Amanfo onhu omumu to kwan na President Akufo-Addo ahwe nyankopon wanim akosesa asante bedi atuo na yere no mo free Nigeria no mo busianfo abegu ya fell say airport frontiers, they are from Nigeria. Frontiers Health Services, Ghana ni twema na yesi ye COVID test by force na ye gi amam for $50 ye gi amam for $70 uduru ha ope wumpo company we ya ade we gi dollars upon dollars ye ne ba ye ho so. These Nigerian guys went away with a whooping $80 million. Parliament cry from Samomra. Kwanya mo fa so munye adwuma till date they didn't even go. They had no respect for anybody because obi te Flaster house no de omaba. How dare you? And I be free and say my account. So these people went away. Not journalists in Pennyfort to chrome her me or one. I saw from Pennyfort you almost say your Mahama must or match you be or Moteha Sunday bia they kept quiet. Chrome had a bear do, me say, we Ninians assembia can't just shut up. We need anything sensible to say, just go mute. Cause maybe in your silence, people will assume you are wise. You can take solace in that. But now, if you have a mantle microphone, a big dinner, as or sorry, my name, I catch it say, young Twaba, Mamma say, more match chia man for. Ya to Obama mo say mo mefex economy. We ninyans asem bia kan just keep quiet. Ko Ghana for now omo to Obama aban no they have time. They have time for people of how wrong this country to account for their stewardship. Frontiers. And your software $80 million na man for the corner. We should just let it go. $190 million the American government was supposed to give out to us. Ebinum kronunti excavators. Galamsey fight, you know, what people don't know about it is, me say, Ghana sika ko ura sa Galamsey fight we muno. One day, I'll find time and break it down for you to understand. Unsan some no ya tubo me fight Galamsey ay just rhetorics and I can people don't mention any figure na se for them. But I'm telling you, sir, Operation Galam stop, Operation this, Operation Vanguard na se for go to parliamentary proceeding, go and look at amount of money you devote to for such operations. But eventually these people were there to protect same criminals na omuntu Galamsey no. Yate soja fo agumuram, yate police fo agumuram, na ya the millions of Ghana cedis operations na chese sika ekomu no. Na Ghana ni eti enwuram baabi ensuo kura onya bi nom ekwan yenye. E blocks esisi nwuram ye jayama afu. Hospitals esi nwuram Afari Hospital, Medical Village esi Kumase, adan enwura. Na abro ne bayi na adwemone sei me hu bi da. Na wo your sofo na wo mfere. Ani wo ni wadwen mu. Utimi nya abonten ba. And I make say, you see, I saw no crowd. I have a lot of respect for Asofo because I'm a Christian and I go to church. But I'm convinced there are a lot of idiots who have opportunity with the Bible. They are even fooling the people the more. They don't even understand. They don't even understand what they are doing. They know nothing about God. They know, what they think is what they are telling people. So they end up fooling people. And you know how dangerous it is for a country to allow a significant number of the population to be exposed to fools, to misinform and mislead them? Is the reason why Porkigami regulated churches in Nasifonum. Because answer na jina class chemistry no. You need to prove a point there. When chemistry you understand. Some social issues and religious issues no. That's because obi a nim there about this thing because you see, God, Christianity, is a concept that has to be studied, understand before you can teach. Odo bi akoda sori afa Bible o say oboabo nipa nugu asori dem a o say wate asori na nsem omo ka kire omo no. You see, ebia wadwen ne say they have right na say for yenso ye right because nipa na akotena asori dem no nsem na obete no. They come to the social space and interact with people. Whatever they hear, no, it determine the way they are going to act within society. So if they are being poisoned in the church by a certain ignorant person who knows nothing about Christianity, God, they come back and infest us with whatever they indoctrinate them. You see, some of these issues are very complex. And because people are emotionally fragile, no, I'm for free say say. Because sometimes I watch some videos, I listen to some of Nema Amamfo Ekeka, and sometimes you could see say people are just advertising nothing but sheer and ignorance. That is so sincere and innocent. Or no one can say nim say you're ignorant, but they are advertising and selling such ignorance to a lot of people in the name of God. I think that such enterprises must be regulated. Sebeya, ye chire nipa nyame akwan a, ye be ma nipa onima chire no, so that we don't mislead people. Because in an attempt to get people to God, say you're careful, we may end up misleading a lot of people. If we are not careful. Let me just try and place this in here. Okay. So if we are not careful, we may end up poisoning a lot of people. Obi share me video, obi mami bi say oya comfort. I say what sorry. On Sunday you see human beings sitting in that particular place, listening to what? And sometimes some you see, state, the state has a responsibility to save people. You see, I'm sure or so we have a responsibility to save others as well. So we some people cannot control their own self. So it is the duty of the state to protect those gullible minds. So such enterprises, you don't even allow it to exist in the first place. Such enterprises, you do not allow them to exist in the first place. It's the reason why a Ponzi scheme started up those times. And I'm so much worried about. You say, back in 2016. 2014 and adjuster motors and when those Ponzi schemes and shall see Ukruma and I'm one buyer. Me say I buy na and someone among for can say, oh, and I say I'm more greedy no mudo musika koto. Me say asem ni nyansa asem. Don't forget we are no nipa bebreo anyansafo wom ebinum nim nyansa ebinum abimu ha ebinum era ye nyina ya kanfra. So you can't predict what another person will do at any point in time. And until I form a state. So the state has absolute responsibility to protect everybody at any point in time. That is why such enterprises like Ponzi schemes, you don't allow it to exist. But once it exists, people will go there. Once those enterprises exist, people will go there. So sometimes you need to take away those enterprises. Because nipano what people can do. So we need to regulate just to ensure say institution be a best nipa beko getting exposed to biano, they don't end up being poisoned. Because I have read a lot of Nema religion across in America over those days. Obit me campo among for them. It may indoctrinate you more to a point here. What make of a poison, but not their mom, no winning no. Oh, there are a lot of Obi me here come we said no plagiatum. No, just go to the internet. There are stories, there are real stories. So since then, government shall say take a step to regulate some of these things. Not all the state though, but sometimes say Obi say or nipa. You need to understand, say, Nippon in the first place, or right frame of mind. na dwen mu da ho ade na oye no onim hu nim de otiase. You see, before the person is allowed to interact with people, because if we don't do these things, society near build the core esoro no na ebinum so udwiri, ye build the core na ebinum udwiri. Because what here the echo so okroma na nsan ya mra ye de ye adwuma e okroma say and 24/7 among for the prayer camp 24/7 enti your manya when ya bre productivity na among for onam kroma king cause that 24/7 church no more a huge enterprise for the owners. I want they are cashing in, taking their kit abroad, buying properties in Nasefor. No, oh no, you are just a commodity these guys are selling. But and I'm saying majority of the people are gullible. And you see, unfortunately, in our part of the world, because of poverty, you know, say nipa only the obedina only the obesha. Na dwene se before na ye no ye part of the world sa ankwasa asem na hye nipa adwene mu ma obia before na ye no enti we fall prey for some of these things. That is why government in our responsibility to ensure say me say name incentives are emasa enterprises in existing na we need to take it away once and for all, and in doing so no we need to build a solid foundation for that. And that foundation, including creating job opportunities that are sustainable. But that will also include holding them accountable. So also for Obia abayeno ni juma die pa winima meka kire abayeno juma die pa Ghana for to abama na say omanye japade na amanfo be wiaye no yenje yade in the first place. Enti se ebia kana wo kan no ebia ajapade na ebia bedi wo ha and prepare o de beba ebia bedi wo ha o de beba because ya nya sa niema we ya me say chrono in Ghana politics will never end if we don't hold people accountable. Chrono in Ghana politics will never end because resources are ese ye chemo obia anya bi nanka Ghana your population yesen. If you look at the resources and the things that we have, the average Ghanaian entna balu so or Italy or pay na do omo mutimi kokora kwa duru ho no de obe fam no odi ho kokora psychologically you will break down do na nemo mo famu they couldn't even come back. Enya easy. Not resources abundant trim but people are so greedy to the extent say put in good use. Cause Krumano, the aged no don't care about young people. Cause obi a young or no make life either so ko jisika dura na so ko ye say. Cause they don't wish to say we a young person. Life be a simple amount. Cause the things that being young means you have to suffer through life. And the bia meka open nipa abro na adwemmone wo mutim pa okrom homom amwaye na enye omunyina mom. But there are people above 60 years going in our politics. These are dangerous breed of greedy people. Most of them don't wish people well. They think they are always in control. Everybody is a slave forever. And into the no mu ma time so oba retirement kra na or do not ask some age cry just to sit in. No age na waduru no cry no still. Also here bibi, how much more young people and those who get into political power or no want to be there 65 or no 70 they want to be there. Onko no asesa mkra mayo 25 22 or any PA and o tu kwan or no beko ko benya kwan na de by force anyhow. Adwemmone na asempanyimfo dodo na team e wo kroma sei. It is not about creating job opportunity. No. They always want to be there so that you be slave forever. Where opportunities exist and nipa big on creative mount forget. Because it's always about them. They are supposed to be there. Yours is to be down. But on my beer anywhere, a mu youth, enya bibinya, or minor develop it that. God, they are energetic. They are the very people who can take all the risk. Oko America, people who are buying houses, those paying for mortgage, and then for no. Either you are 20, either you are 30, either you are 40. From 50, 60 going, you are thinking about cashing in on your pension. You don't do investment. People who are buying cars, people who are going to school, people who are spending in the economy are young people. That is why every economy be and they say young people, no population, they prepare the economy na shasiye. That in here and interna Germany shasiye assign the alarm bells, because the population is diminishing. Even China, recently, India overtaking your they are now encouraging say one birth policy has been reversed. They want people to even give birth more. Because the more you have younger people in your midst, the more your chances of growing your economy. Africa, we have the largest youthful population in the whole of the world. We are the poorest. Because we don't respect young people because we think they are slaves. They are means people can use to get to wherever they are. I think we need to reset here. Have a different understanding. Politics, I see it differently. Na do now so you invest emotions in your command. Na you see, that era is gone. You may be part of a political party. Yes, it's good to belong to a political party. But you also have a sacred responsibility to hold them accountable. It is not your job to defend somebody's nonsense. It is not your job to defend somebody's follies. That is not part of being part of a political party. What the whole essence of to abanyo de nyina and said near man and she begu akwemu ama wonso wadi now de bia ko gina koto aba man krofo papa na yeye ankrofo na omo na manfo de omo girlfriend no scholarship I say winya no people who don't need it. They are the people who be and now no scholarship exposure by look at the beneficiaries. The people who needed it the most. Because emrana ye na basa to ho. You say poor and needy. That expression poor and needy is vague. Who is poor and who is needy? There must be an explicit constitutional interpretation, some legal interpretation of who falls within that category. Because okay, poor but needy, and I say brilliant but needy. Who is needy? When any needy was as we so. When any needy, na ya young kwasi amara na dia to ho. There be a interpretation. There be a we can't even weave laws are so explicit in the face. Say ushema. You don't need any constitutional way bia. And the more provisions vague. Okanya winya way no, then you give more discretionary powers to judges to put interpretation on them. And in recent times, you've seen what the court has become. The interpretation of pen on better so when that is what they are telling us. So I think there are a lot that within these 4 years that we need to do to set a stage for a new Ghana to take off. Because if we fail to do that, I'm telling you that opportunity will never come again. This opportunity, if we miss it, trust me, we will never get any opportunity. Because ruling government, enya 2 tests. Majority, Kwame Nkrumah person and now more pochi MPs and then as a former, we are now by one party. But in recent times, under the Fourth Republic, we in 1992 free man, the MPP side anchor parliament from 96 basin there. this overwhelming majority must mean something. A choice that Ghanaians are really ready. Say, let us really reset. Now rules of engagement, you know. Young fungu, young son near mum. My catcher must say, such benefit. Your friend saying, bed allowance, shoe allowance, garden boy, sang sem hununo, per diem, nen san near mana. And nam so, oko GFA. I want to a nipa two, na ye two. I want to a nipa could 1 week, or could be 3 weeks, because ocha or every night or by the per diem. These people are being paid, and their travels are supposed to be part of their core job. But we are paying them per diem. So I know the day, nipa no per diem or budget in a month, no, a switch in the salary. Na a hiya fogu fie, or yare do the hospital kra onya. A man for your kidney disease. Yes, a kidney center no, omu nema yes or mode omu nyanti ya shutting it down, and people are dying at home. But we are paying people per diem. And then, yeah, bottom. Sunday, na you know, you gotta cut and sorry them. What kind of nonsense is this? We don't deserve to even go to church. Because the things that we do, the way we treat others, the way we treat one another, no. Nyankopon crying and said we don't even deserve to step away into the church. So this is the time for us to do all these changes. To do all these changes. Now Yebehu say the new change now advocacy in Niama man for ye no and we've been able to reset the political landscape. Sanity aba. And then they take off, no. It's a collective journey we are taking together. Politics, leadership, governance is a public enterprise. Collectively, no, we are enlisting the collective mind of Ghanaians to take off. Into a basa. It will not be a matter of people folding their arms, watching the government from a distance to fail. So now Yabaka say you can't. No. If you involve the people, you do the right thing, trust me, people will come on board. And we will all move together. And I think that is what is going to happen for now. Enti ne omo masasiye etoto aboba park so no. Yes, some of you should just shut up. Say abayene or recover what has been stolen. Every support to be our no, give it to the government. Me say ora no, they don't need any legal framework. They don't need any constitutional mandate. Because the Rema or more pretty no, Rema, they don't even need those legal backing, because the platform is just to receive complaint from, since when NIA receive a complaint from people require a legal constitutional instrument and not legal backing, legal framework. My culture say just take it like a media house or your investigation. Now open the door so evidence fabra na yam fanka ye way ho na yen devil deeper na yam famra. The only difference in say way in media or jejia or the kwakoma institutions are more power. Institution ne jail na ko prosecute, they will also dig further. Cause evidence are can and yen ni nyina na ye de court. There are near the court way, so they will have to look at them issues, you know, they are falling under which the remit of which institution. Don't forget we have Yoko. They deal with economic crimes. You the special prosecutor, political corruption and stuff, and the age, you know, the rule no widespread. They can take on a lot of the issues. This is what the committee is going to do. So what is your problem? And if what Okujato said is anything to go by, he said they are not even going to draw salary and allowances. So what is your problem? People have given up, say, we will work for free. We will receive complaints and information. na ye de kwa koma amanfo say mum prosecutor na mu investigate a problem don no maye no osofo gina platform so keka sansem we. You see, we've seen enough of your kind in the last 8 years. You kept quiet. The very people who kept hope in this country are young people via the new media. And Ghanaians were so much interested. People consumed that information. There was a time I woke up around, I think, was it 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. and I saw YouTube. Me check Kevin Taylor in the platform. Not nipa 7,000. Where at the time I was practicing a man for do another organa no. People were watching him. How many platforms na Ghana ha? Traditional media no. Do saying and the team I recorded even 10% of even that number. Even at that time. A child say Ghana for youth they have access to information. Enti enyawo and our back nobody consumes information and sit idle. When people consume information, they act on it. And Ghanaians acted on the information they've received in the last 8 years. And no about one and that vote, that message, are very expressive. Expressive in the sense that they've given President Mahama a mandate to recover what has been stolen. And that's exactly what he has promised to do. All that we have to do is to support him to achieve that. And that is exactly what we are going to do. Until when you're ready, if you don't want to be part of it, just shut up, sit you somewhere. You yourself sit in your church, preach whichever way you want to preach to people. But I think, sir, this is what we really want to do this time. I don't take much of your time. Merry Christmas to Obia or in Christmas period. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, we will continue on to, because I think that other platforms are shutting down. Tomorrow, I think that I will just try my best to come live, maybe at the same time, to have engagement with you on several other platforms. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Tomorrow, I'll be here. And you can also subscribe to my podcast channel on YouTube, Kyei Innocent 1 on YouTube, just like here. Now be part of a community. We can grow together. I think that there are a lot of issues that we need to discuss. This thing is not going to end here. Makamakacho said, Year 2 Akufo-Addo is just a first phase. Bringing in a new government and setting the stage for the new Ghana is the raw deal. Because at this point, we cannot afford to fail or disappoint. Because the last leg of Ghana democracy, the John Mahama government, say a failure, Ghana for abambebu about democracy. And we will make sure the government does not fail. Or be keep to the promises I will make it to people. And that is what we're going to do. So, let's get interactive. So go to YouTube, Kyei Innocent 1 podcast channel. Let's get interactive. Maybe our channel there now will do it on YouTube. So let's get interactive now. You get involved. Those of you who join us late, and I think you can do a playback and also watch. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to Obia Afinshapa. Nyame Mwana Afese na the new Ghana na yesi ya no. Now you who signs, I just say indeed there is hope for the future. I can't just say Obia and time Obia Akufo-Addo. You saw say people were criticizing here and there, not yet time no Obia time no. But Abrabo Bonnie or ye na dream say or the Ghana bebo. And no seven na yeka. And indeed, we've been proven right. Because if you look at the outcome of the vote now, I just say indeed, na Ghana for ehundia koso. And I think say being able to end that era of political tyranny, arrogance, it's a victory for us. That is why you can celebrate this Christmas in style and come back with a renewed hope that the new administration will set a stage for the Ghana we've all been waiting for. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you. Bye bye.
Say yes, a down so na yamfa enwianso enguso n'enya installation ayeyen ebia obi asidan ama waboso enyu yeboa ama yehihye ma ne ma yakama ebia na wo nkura mpono ze na yesi dan no kura yekurusu mu ano anya ofe wo ba ye ho ayesesa ma bibia nso ayehihye yipa adema ewie ba bia wo bia no bomodin so bepe ye chi akwan na yesa offer free consultation so adema Ghana fo a one person mo anya omufie tie metal roof trusses installation ye wood installation roof leakages and a roof maintenance over your catcher ye boa pa for building construction no yen so ye pa adamati e dansie ni asubo nyina no Kesa roofing ye company limited ye boa na baby ye wompo na say ye location no kra na e de no mesi ye Madina Samampom Arapa J Junction, you have Church of Pentecost. Friend was 0541 908 637 0541 908 637 and a 0247 0249 715 908 0249 715 908. Kesam Roofing, also we are number one. Kyei Innocent is seated. Samson, you are trained with Honorable Simon Kwakutete Babakayensa. But if you baby, I will be an bombarding, say, we'll do Obakayon at joining live on Facebook, Amucho FM official. Kaisa at exactly 4 p.m. Mitra Moji Vidin Krato. Some we have baby and so anyway, if I'm out. Mammy call Nami Ivan and share as ye. Ya tu aba no awie na abato nso de bi amafo ka se esu won sunsuanso aban akwaba
Major Alaska.
na boko here
Yeah,
ya post elections analysis am say ya betena ka se fidi so ma o ka se the only thing na wo hwehwe se Ghana for be se beto aba eyi na nado dan kwakufa do ni MPP for yi efiso ni ya reset Ghana. Yabeka say the outpay abem na factors when they come in election when there was a issue.
Yeah, Alaska, you did kind of mention what here for. Na me more Ghana for abaso. Because I think obi a what here since 2016 basin there. Na year 2022 year quarter 2020 elections. Me ba have a sanne caution be say Ghana for your mistake. No mo koto aba maku for adoa. Or enkwame you know I'm sure about turn back on the back on
Very well.
And I think Sasem Mekai no from 2020 up to now the economic conditions all cost will Krumhano. I'm sure say justify that particular statement or Brenna Mania Ghana for a firm Nema Akoso. So it wasn't about Yakoto about Assam not Makoma.
Okay.
It is about the reflected the generality of what the larger Ghanaian society na esiki. But I think over the years, you know, na among fonte politics I say. Obi how I cash na dream chin and me NDC de me wu koba biem kra. Obi su da share team me MPP de me wu koba biem kra. When you take such position Alaska in the political scheme of affairs, you know, such person you become useless.
Okay.
Because vote to see them for what. But when you are dynamic, you can change your mind. Based on conditions I want mind no ultimate tell total because I know they know you can change your mind based on happenings in the country. Political sense and that person is relevant. What has happened?
It means who you should agree.
Yes, because omo ejina fa kono a constant way no when it comes to determination of election outcome as a for no ma omo ensure any impact be our elections. So until I catch us say almost elections
and also we determine who wins power. The floating voters.
Sure.
Because the NDC, the MPP, core supporters, Obianu and the core supporters between them and win the power. But there is a section of Ghanaians from floating voters. They look at the dynamics. So if you're able to sway them to a particular direction, they will win you the election. I think that what happened this particular year, it justified that particular way. And the political communication issues structured targeting those people. Because the last time I catch you say this retail kind of campaigner, over here candidate na sorry na okoni base na anadwo 1 anadwo 2 na ye shia amam for constituency na se for no. I'm hoping say going forward ye besua bibi, but because that is the way of doing things.
That's right.
Old way. But I think that there are a lot of research dynamics about politics ma asesa niema bebra. You don't need to meet people 1 a.m., 12 a.m. now because such message you deliver and come baby. Call for Obi Obetimi Gina constituency 1 a.m. at presidential candidate, that person is already a party person. I don't know where they were about. But Obi a floating vote and in yard Ajin Konko Gina time no say or 1 a.m. but deliver message.
That's right.
And the way they do that thing, the message delivered at the grounds, and baby. So it's a waste adventure and that's some kind of way. But and then America so US elections now. Abrana major media houses in Trump he was using the new media. For instance, there was this Rogan Trump got in the podcast or YouTube. He was able to, he had a views of about 45 million people. Even CNN 3 days we will not get that particular views. Right. You understand? So you saw that media and he was able to appeal to young voters and then as for them. And I think they're going forward, we need to structure our campaign system. Our old way of doing campaign. No, it doesn't work. And then there are several platforms that will be here. And I think that to a certain extent, message now, Esha said 2020 advocacy across Oklahoma campaign. I'm finding your margin.
That's right.
A advocacy, yes, certain emotion. Some of us even started even before and a campaign because we were insisting say Ghanaians need to understand politics. Now omunhu kwanya aban no abrabo bonia aban no de Ghana for bosso ne abrabo omobo. But anam say that emotionally partisan attaching into no sa ne man nyina ye botugu ye, but from 2020 ebesi ne you could appreciate say a lot has changed so far as politics is concerned. Young people. So Alaska who be some factors added this particular way by medical say the cause a NDC victory, a Ghanaian victory. Ghana for in one accord have decided say enough of this nonsense. That is why I told you say a revolution without a gun.
A revolution
without a gun. That revolution.
Tsunami
without a gun. Ghana for decisively and overwhelmingly have decided say Nema I play out our this particular country. Enough of it. And they are also sending a loud message to Abayana Wabane say, what would the idea you know? You wouldn't even support or no. Obana Bedin Semhuna, that is the fate awaiting you.
Okay.
So I'm sure say it's a good news. It's a Ghana for a hotel normal family. I send a very powerful message to politicians out there. And then Akufa to Lucy, and I think that there is a multiplicity of factors. One has to do with the president Nankasa. His arrogant posture. Nisubain, Nekwan of us or yen. The said the very moment Akufo-Addo set up, he set himself up to fail. Because in this modern, your friend saying democratic dispensation, Yewomi, Alaska, a young class, some say, when Yadia Kunyama. Now, when you do that, you lose willpower.
That's right.
Willpower and said the ability to crack down on. Before say general manager, word, you are your own opinion. And now when you have only one, I will take console. You think the opinion general manager after all, then the basic. Now what's the other wood in some hunu? Honestly, I'm saying we need me and I own into on to me.
That's right.
Into whenever I also know, or there be a point console back on the coffee, or I was now to 2 speakers and as a phone in the cup because we need opinion in the tour. So that willpower and you lose the leverage because after all, we are there on to me for police in Metro.
That's right.
When we are now, I told you, that is why in the wisdom of those who have studied politics, air catcher say, chronism, family and friends, those we know, we are president, not Udo Hukotuma. A killing something we call willpower. But we are president of our culture. now American state cannot be weak and cannot be have mercy.
Exactly.
That state in America no a representation of the president because you are the executive force as a will lead that. So when that weakness you are done. Other people around you will begin to do some of these things. And they know, and they're there, the Kufuado, Abama, who sent a camera for Rata, Bossabi and Kwasi, Abosin, Biakanyans, as some channel. At some point, the company and an advisor, our Jessica Film, banking sector cleanup by Ghana for the money to say, some of us have studied policy. We've seen a lot of some of these things because there is nothing new under the sun.
That's
Bible
right.
Nakaya, or 2008, our America, they had similar banking sector challenges in Asifo. We saw the finesse and the wisdom the Obama government then adopted by ensuring credible firms, or more musika from the Treasury Department go out there and buy the distressed assets. Make sure you stabilize them so that people will not lose their job, so that there will not be tsunami. Chase Bank, our America, yes, and JP Morgan Chase, these are credible banks. They bought all the distressed assets. I know the day, and then from the mic and other way. So when Baumia and Co started this particular thing, that was the same thing we were expecting. Say, make sure you don't kill the bank, but by your name,
that reference.
Exactly. So Papa Kwasindium now also what's in the bank. Now Sikane no didin semuna. You have every right to pick Papa Kwasindium as an individual. You deal with him. Any legal malfeasances be our committee no, you can deal with him, but don't kill the bank. Because said there is nothing like private bank.
Exactly.
There is nothing like private bank, and in any country, for the very moment you open your doors and public comes in, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure the economic safety of those who are investing. So government to no private bank. So but omontie and omoye nema sa na Alaska ekoko jigu ye. But President Nankasa Alaska, my culture say afraid to be arrogance of power. So we are buying. That's all what times I don't know the taro wo ya no. And that's exactly what Akufo-Addo did. Alaska, so woko Kumasi your friend constituency be Kwabere.
That's right.
I'm told the constituencies in more biggest numbers.
The largest.
Akufo-Addo went there. And Medoko Kumasi says here. Now no na me come na me na beku Santana yesho na me say me ka say me share obi and me be say enti over the years from Kufuor pencil be say Akufo-Addo pencil, the Kumasi people have been very grateful to MPP. Nti me pese me hu eye ade asombo kese wo Kumasi abaka say MPP baaye e na obaye ade we ma yen ko anya hwe me nse John Mahama hesi kejetia yesi Rotary Park na hwan hospitals ahodo ne na se for enti die na oye nipa cross Kufuor maternity na me say moya na mo bodam Alaska dey see comfort no che no kra no no fo am pride no ho na wa akosi maternity popotwo bi dey kwatare baby and a achievement. You see the joke? So over the years, the people have been taken for granted.
For far too long.
For far too long. So when he went there, now we say Kwabre for so Mr. President there now by and so we now catch that is what differentiates a gangster from a leader, a president. Oh yes.
A gangster.
That is what differentiates a gangster from a president. Nipana to Abamano. Because Akufo-Addo was an imposter from the beginning. He's a fraud theory. President no, it's like movie. Not your script a man or who play. That is not who you are. And your role play.
And Obia, he's not what he is.
Yes, or your role play no, because he knows nothing about presidency. Because at that moment, you find wisdom and sell to the people, even if it is a lie, you just to show respect. He told them so indirectly he was telling them this is people are about my president at Alaska. This time around. Go to Kumasi and check the vote. Go and check MPP's performance. And I mentioned says the reason why some of you have to take your first credit for all this advocacy because the message young people team politics that is why you see those numbers. And one thing I think say boy Ashanti region over the years numbers in every cook numbers.
Sure. And
I'm expecting say me kasatia regional divisions na se for no but say Akufo-Addo any 16 say any 20. I think that Ashanti region say team 3.
Yanti Asante Wuto.
Yes, Yantim Tre, na emu na ho na development in Kobiko Kronukra Kabum Dodo. Now things will make here development. So Alaska, Sanya Mana, Omo Ekan boss, or Ekan bo muno, and on a can who be titro, and a ma Ghana forecast said, no, Papa way a bunny pam ferry nipa, because Bakaya, or Bo Gadata, Emma or Hinny be better here, or see a bo anthem, or Hinnan, sorry. Alaska, you see, say, Uko school, now mature, na say, who him dear to a certain level, na say, in a bedroom. If it's a obi ya dear cry yeah, there are ways with temperament and overreacting. You saw the video.
I don't know how on Kraha.
Akraha, President was throwing childish tantrum, indicating that he's all powerful. Unfortunately for him, or he no crisis had a lawyer, no the camera function, and say for several hours, president. So by the time President better say no omoye de omoye, nana nisu chino. So he had no other option than to sit down. The following day, President Konikro, Yabo national anthem and the budget phone, so he couldn't even caution her. That is the level of embarrassment. At some point in time, President Akufo-Addo ko Volta region in Suafa Nipa, we are making arrogance and quan settle.
That's right.
Or ko Volta region in Suafa Nipa 1 year to 2 go. At that point, and I'll call remind you of say, Mekra ka vote nkwa. When the Okromo himself voter region to my baby. So you don't need to go there to remind them at the time and the people are in pain.
Meanwhile, through action and inaction of
exactly
government.
It was an accident. A nipa na that's a car said maybe so because they knew the implication of what they were doing. They knew that omubia didn't ever so that spillage will go to that extent. They knew nobody did any risk assessment to be and yet you go also until you don't go there and say at that point a sign of immaturity, but he displayed it. The same voter region, the guy goes to funeral, I him for titi fine, maybe a sen one sorry, but on one sorry as a leader, it is not your business to go and direct them. I'm sorry, even protocol team no signal be now go come to the president ba Alaska then sorry now. Mr. You common sense. But no, ofri say o mine yes ne maame na ewu no de jano, se ne papa na ewu no de jano. Se ama power na wanya na emma we ye da wo se de yo. E na sa se bi enkura sema ordinary no, you don't expect opinion over here. That is what he displayed. Then you're back to the economic front, Alaska. Ghana economy wa hefa. And that is why when I see people on street jubilating, yes, changing now, but we are jubilating. But Alaska, me say the future looks so bleak and uninspiring because of the economic circumstances. Ghana for them must say Amenoka say Alaska. Say you would minority, how we are aware. Say Ghana, you declare bankrupt. You're doing to your car.
That's right.
You postpone it. Your debt, I the external creditors, you push it quite anymore. Alaska, you have to some of the debt will mature early as 2026.
Exactly.
The amount of money we are to pay, we don't have them. So the new president will have to brace his heart, go to IMF and renegotiate.
And he has even hinted.
Yes, because that is the only way out. And yes, apart from IMF, he has to go to the credit space and renegotiate the already negotiated terms with your creditors.
So that you must have some breathing space.
Exactly, yes, you can do. Because Microphone, money will mutiman say, so inheriting, you are inheriting a disaster. That is why I'm expecting say the new government, Alaska, over the years, I buy beer power and we will free because be a copy not communication front not breaky. And I know the day some of these things because you need to let the Ghanaian people know and understand the real state of Ghana's economy.
I'm not cutting you so, but I stated it here yesterday. Say you should open the Pandora box.
Oh yes.
Now, every sector of the economy, Ghana for
and
fellow Ghanaians.
Yes.
On your fellow Ghanaians.
Alaska, me say energy sector alone. Alaska. We say talk about we dum so.
That's right.
Because your power, your generation mix, I think you 5,316 megawatts. That is way peak day. We have about 3,700 there about. Alaska generation mix, Ghana DA 50%. Then the IPPs, the independent power producers 50%. So that generation mix and the Maya, to a tune of about $2 billion. And it's so now ugly. Chinese wave no only. Yeah, but another crack could do more plant. What is a finance minister or no more agreement?
Yes, right.
Because ECG has no control over this. Because the Omoka no more could do plant, you see you when the power no on and ubenya bi na wacheche but they off the entire plant due to one light na doom and na abina lose power no they don't even know their fate and until na who doom so no cause because they didn't resolve anything. See am no ka say Esra na John Mahama bottle say okay power we near the omoka and yam create that fund na the ebe ne say sika betoma you let us form a consortium of banks na yenyi one as a leader and the sika beto sa fund no ma Alaska wo na odi animu hwan na de oka hwan na de eka ye ncheche ma ye mo sa akufo ado ba ya mo bon kwase abosia ni nyina wie ye no e na kenoforata bu komogeji the Esra e no de kwaje abosia and the sika bi e beto Esra no bia no paying the energy sector with empty and a pay for the mortgage then so obakaya nan saying ya the get funder over the years oko secondary school and ya the talk house man cry esikam and the get fund they say get fund into mean talk get fund into mean provide anything for student. That is the state. So you need to paint a picture skill description of Ghana's economy. Sabaya people will not be overexcited. Say you're buying number, yes, you're baby, no. There is no room. And unfortunately for this John Mahama administration and Ghana for Niati Bruta. I'm telling
that's
you.
right.
And you know, it is not business as usual. Even though 2016 was president, but the stakes has changed. Social media and other platforms are heightened, and you can't do anything in secret. And you have to be very transparent and let Ghanaians know. Say, I'm not saying your debt to your GDP numbers now are artificial. But at some point in time, World Bank projected now you over 100 and something. Alaska, that is the reality. Your debt to your GDP, your friends say cost na ankasa your debt to ankasa. You know the amount, and then over about 700 million. Then you come to the fact say, Afibia Sika the service your debt no, your jai, your twin to your eboabo no, your besiamba. We need to go back and renegotiate with China. You see, I'm not credibility. What they call Bobosia or credit score as hang junk.
Only
affordability. Exactly, that is the right word. I Ghana for better say affordability. And the Bobosia wouldn't be. Alaska Bank of Ghana for the first time in the history of this country. Bank of Ghana to be boka over 60 billion Ghana. Say a bin see that in the history.
Of this Bank of Ghana auto day.
Now, we don't count mobile. We don't say as I have board members no more da no no to your 500 your friends say 500 million each 500 million as allowance for say ya boka over 10 over say over best 60 billion e bin see that
no to no o to na ho allowance
I to good watch nya cha mo ho na won ka say e bi nko to iPhone as watch mo
that's right
e dan no musisi we da ho nsem ye nwie da so Ghana for what is obi kan akufo ado asema obi antan no Papa ni pabonini. Yes, that was why the last time I make catch Captain Smart say, Nyankopon ni bedino or Jim or Pejana dear or Union one daje.
Nyankopon in another bedino.
Nyankopon ni bedino
or Jim
or Jim Pejana dear because Alaska Bonia Papa Nadino. This was shooting and needs to bear 4 days.
What did you?
What did you?
An MP for Yanka Sanka. And you know something, Nadia on social media said. Oh, says a very cement to bet so about 16. To bet so about say.
Nadia yet so there is no price coming down. And the Fatu Ghana for team because a near man say we price stabilization Albania and they will talk about 10 cities. I know what you say over 27 cities.
I don't know what say I dear. What said the catchers and Jenny
Alaska. Now MPP party no. So who said the party is here? Enti oh sa we bia obo no bank be me de osofo bia o ka say Akufo-Addo is one president obeko fie with a lot of shame na man for free say yeah politics and animguase na efia papa we die ko na all kwatena fie no Alaska
okay
thank God chose like King Ahab has turned his heart from God for material blessings. He has turned his heart from God and has sold the destiny of the nation. So the president of Ghana will be one of the presidents that will walk away from the state house with a lot of shame and a lot of anger from the court of heaven. A lot of shame and a lot of anger from the court of heaven. And as long as God lives, unless if he will repent and change some of the steps he has already taken to put the nations into the jaws of the enemy to eat. But if not, starting with him to his descendants, no one will ever rise up from his family into state house or into prominence. Even his party, as he leaves the office, it will take them many decades. Not that the opposition will come into power 2 terms and they will come back. It will take them many decades to return, because the nation of Ghana is one of the beloved of God. But as it is now, there is an exchange in the realm of the spirit. So even the nation of Ghana next year, 2022, there will be a lot of chaos in the name of demonstration, in the name of strike. There will be a lot of judgment on the nation. People will be dying anyhow. When it rains, the rain will rain with judgment. When the sun comes down on the earth, it will.
And anytime we are met our body away, no. Alaska, what shall say body away? You know,
almost 2 years.
And think go for a at least they will learn something from this particular prophecy. Or say not or can say. President in the best son again. Na Jama Nebuchadnezzar Samna Yakao. Or no, near Jin such a biao baby. Akumiana Otisono, he never thought in a way about. And not in the sort so. And Alaska. Second part of it, the air course soon also no one say Mugana for one kahon. Because I had set up. Net quite on far some coffee about me at the buyer. Now they were seeking to insult everybody. Baumiana Kufado at the center for. Amamu born in Semuna Cosu in your mommy and no more so ye. Now, Okotia Taba Quentin never so, or they know your mate ya. Another day, you are insulting everybody. Not opinions and need some fan about Tana. What's Uncle Fanapo? Now, maybe that's a low crew money. I can vice president in Napo. Alaska. I cannot Guinea Grand Campasoni so. Guinea. Oh, but that's what I see for your vice president. Insult. Now,
Odim Osana Mose, Yamia Duma, Mina Mayor in charge of DDEP.
On this serious. Alaska. And I make us a young mama. Presidency, no, at a form, I'm a fiamba home. So any person can just wake up and say, Miss Representative President. Because in a serious country where we are pressing problems, now you expect intelligence to come to bear, no? You will not go and pen a poet, your friend saying, Baumia, na omujina platform, so, and I make us a young sacred sign counts, or her posture. Yes, and you miss Sifian as a problem. Don't know about who I say, Yanko. Yes, and I, you see,
as a young man,
yes, you see, Alaska, we in Sania, we are incumbents. Looking at how a minor affair, no, Alaska, you don't go back and put out such behavior, but I'm saying, Obia is so arrogant. And then, na me ka about me team no sate happen. Alaska, this is a guy that a president. President too. Are the powerful way our party. No, look at the MPP as a political party. Na ofa obi amana your communication person obe lead the team na. Boy, no yourself anything.
Miracle, Dennis Miracle.
Yes, Alaska. This is a combative, cynic guy. Alaska, you see, president.
Combative, cynic.
Yes, Alaska, you need somebody who is very intelligent, somebody who has the ability to be dynamic, to maneuver. Because you see, communication, you know, me say, me platform because we has a way of communicating.
Exactly.
Who you sit in the studio has the way of communicating. So you should be able to change that kind of stuff. But Alaska, we are talking about a presidency. A lead communicator. You need him to be appealing to a certain intellectual class. So I'm asking you, sir. Professor Jampoti, University of Ghana. Na onyen decide nipo beto abama no. Na ohe TV. Na yesi Baumia spokesperson. Ela ye Maraka Boaje. Na onkasa na unconvinced prof no to abama na. Alaska, we need to get serious.
Oh, no, me was a boy that Maraka would nim nyansa.
Okay.
The deal oka say so no wood infrastructure ever ye camp over 20 hours. E hona me hu say because so once you hospital, I will Abian Kraya or one latter and benefiting. I hope I'm so.
No, Alaska, I say you can't fake intelligence. If you are not wise, you cannot fake to be wise. And see, don't blame him. That is his level. Now, his kind of communication, yeah, to certain I buy no, I buy more. That communication, you know, sometimes I wow when you need defense. And as I buy, giddy near the opposition, your friend is saying party.
That's right.
But when you are in power, your posture, that is why. NDC about power, the communication, your friend saying, posturing, language, the tone, everything needs to change drastically. Because you are no more in opposition. You are in power. You need to manage the relationship between you and the people out there.
The level don't change.
But when I make us who's that Ghana no one. So obi opposition, you say with the team. The very moment they get power, then me say power has a way of sucking wisdom out of people's head. The language will change, the tone will change, and I'm for and I cover before anybody know. So sometimes about when I'm for to tia abayano. Eya na nya policy din as for sa o. Enkrofo bi no ho ahi because of kasafi ne kwa am fa so conduct o mo ho no. Eno nko ano can contribute to your defeat. So I think that these are lessons are going forward, you know. Alaska I listen your course so this year. So me tenase pa na say nka mention reforms na mention report wa. Me say nka menya better 1,000 pages.
Oh really?
Oh yes, because niam bebra me tinche na me yes say the things that I see enya de ketwa but nipa no gusu yo and they don't see say even some because my Samurai Krabwaje appointed that making. I'm not sure till date MPP for Korea realized that it was a mistake. I'm not sure.
Oh, they are even praising him.
Good. Bringing on Napo as a running mate till date. I'm not sure that because how can anybody on his right senses? Alaska, yes, a council of state in the year, you know. And last time was a council of state in Omoyam Kramranti or Feno Mosiso. And Omoyam Kokrafo and Omoya Dang. Because Hackman, yourself very Hackman.
Hackman oppose this
am Penifua, yet see Omon Canadian cry. And think this am Penifanke, a common Nancy could hear wisdom. But Alaska, Kasawo media so I said you crack Kenyans a same chance I'm penning for way. Because with him as a council of elder penny in Alaska, one hour to go near be a cost where we should be bold enough. The last time I made catch about the messes in America.
That's right.
Trump abay said a drawing you were not Trump and then a year babada. I wrote on the Hunya, you're not then Onya call from Bob Mesa, Sir Omra, or the America, that's the entire day than they because they call the shop. Somebody out there more powerful than you can ever be, even though you are the president. You need to go and listen, and yes, sir, they can make you. Steve Bannon, these people just a phone call, and then he ended up in prison because they cut him. But Alaska, you who's a man, Bessin ne. Want to meet me kwatina TV so abra Ghana for di ohia na benne na bebrese galamse issue aba na abrante wait TV so me gold ba akunie gold mienu nie na odi Ghana for him panyine bia ni ho from the president to council of elders etimi frɛ no Kenyans asem kire no na then say kasa bi oti radio so ka ono kwa na wa bia TV stations by 5 where he got that money. Alaska going forward I think say lifestyle dynamic your friends auditing that kind of
sure.
And Alaska I mean can same way we see NDC are buying by power and your business as usual.
That's right.
And don't expect to say obi baba nya power they bedim class say na obi no better TV so be defended. No that will never happen.
That's right.
So all that you have to do power no Ghana for have been very magnanimous enough and I hear because of Nsemuna
you hold it in the trust of
yes
the people
and you do it well. You do it with respect. You do it with recourse to Niama man for Nemu. And yes, it is not time to make money. The last time a day before election, I spoke to a professor. I know catch up and say, "I'm not sure about John." Let me say, "Oh, go and vote for him." But one thing about him is that John Mahama has been president before, but obey or your president now, or two choices: the choice to be Ghana's best president ever, and the choice to be Ghana's worst president ever. But the good thing is, the choice is his to make.
Wow.
And I'm sure, sir, he will make a good choice.
Exactly.
But it's up to him. So, I'm sure, sir, being there before, no, he's very experienced enough. Ghana for their trust and support to Ghana for when you know what they're
because
looking at you.
Exactly because, opposition, say, na not do a pack court no.
Yes.
So say your man will to me you can unpack the court.
Yes. And to me now what the man no there is so now na me na be kuye so na me ka say even Supreme Court judges and Chief Justice no and we can get them all of them out.
Oh, that's right.
And we say how? Na me say oh mrana ye this Chief Justice we no our constitution must over to petition, but in this particular case, any petition because to tell Alaska, all you have to do, you have overwhelming power to do constitutional amendments.
Exactly.
So you can look at their tenor now why extend 1 month per now they are paying after 3. So you can extend the constitution and get all of them out.
Oh, that's right. Which yabaye?
Oh, Alaska. Intermediate. All other I want is state institutions. Ghana for Benya GDO.
Sure.
Because court to that hono, Alaska. GDO. Sir, Aquatintia, the Gobi of yes, or yeah, parliamentary candidate. Oh, or no one so MPP.
Yeah, Joe.
Now we in the power conviction. President the crowd appointed no. Catch and say, oh, Alaska, yeah, thought I see a wow, sabi. Now America. Are you aware, say, Abrantia Trump appointed no as Attorney General? The whole Attorney General. And now issues be by a more erase here. Or no about catcher Trump say,
on to me,
Wajai.
That's right.
Alaska. These are people or no Attorney General America. Or say, okay, Wajai. And your chroma will bet me. Mese wo ma obi tumi na wo fa na yere kro be pram wo fa na yere because tumi na yehia tumi ni so nya amfa nya nyansade e je tumi no wunya yemfa mra masum nipa enya sika pe ko politics no pesa wo je wudin yi na wo je wudin a be good to people, invest in human, not in properties, because property no ya do say na betimi ada. We don't think about investing in people. We always want to na nipa na wo wie sika sabi ono a wie sika ma na ma no. Then that person at the same time is buying properties for the same kid. And then because if you give your children some level of education, good job, you don't need to be buying properties for them because you have set them up to be successful in life. The choice is theirs to make. What does that make? But I know say adweno unhu de wom nipa ni nya tumi anadwen say yes ye mre ne ye ba bedidi but I know obviously asedan kanyame and Ghana youth omani ate. Unya to me now, I just a property now. You have a contem and a mechano. Ghana for a part of this government.
Oh, that's right.
At this time, government in Yanko Rogo. So Mahama, I Ghana for to do now support. You know the mostly.
That's right.
Or he whatever that he need to succeed. No,
yeah,
I think he has it. So I think there is also a positive discretion. No making sure say friends, bootlickers and see comfort now you try who you press you there be I started from that people.
That's right.
When you are setting up and you set up friends, cronies and those people, well we I don't know. And I could for a branch on nam abontenum jot or jot to Tiana no asante be dear to no time no say oh yeah your friends saying press secretary. Sabi. And now Gabia Sarachel da kuno number be kind of for atanum and baby. Now we so Alaska you need people who can look you in the face and say hey President Jankwasa Semno, Janse Muno, because the Atu Akufo no, the Mpese Biba to Yang, Edino, do the right thing. And I think there you need strong people who will be able to tell you the truth. The ugly truth now you don't want to hear. So, Okwatas na be a budget, so Okana will be no agreement.
That's right.
Because they don't have to be agree with you all the time. You need critical, intelligent mind down there around you. Because Anamaka Babia, Amamona Babedruno, and yan this be an PPBMO.
No,
I'm on focus 40 or more show. Pressure no babba. Social media has become an effective tool. It can make you and not make you.
But say social media,
yes,
and radio stations. I have very positive media too.
Yes. And that campaign be no be a social media advocacy, the exposure. Kevin Taylor turned the radio, so exposure is a hold on and so and that campaign but he's on radio telling people will platform me, other people platform, telling people what Akufo-Addo is using our power. So you see, and because those platforms no omunkudum no.
Ivan, in fact, what raise the issue? Fine.
Okay.
You sue platform way. Emma Ghana for when you're Bonia Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
Ghana for Alaska new team, including others, your team when you did Mahama. Mitino platform we can say players are here the ball a year qualification series. No?
Yes.
And yes, our players they do ball major tournament.
Yeah.
The fact is NDC Abane and party interest Obiana was on your appointment.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who can say, it shouldn't be business as usual.
No.
I was a Mahama ye experienced people.
Yes.
And yet, way and a mini way and you know near yet. We are not going to change.
Yes.
Yano Sabano best son society because women were for Ghanaians.
Yes.
Since I say propose bibi farmer abai what will you propose?
Oh, I think that's a efficient government, Alaska. That is very, very important. and are getting around these strong people who will put your ass on fire as president. They will tell you the ugly truth because it's not business as usual. Then going forward in Alaska, you see, your institutions are doing our job.
That's right.
We need to make sure that we strengthen state institutions.
Overhauling.
Appointment a woman sabi and you know papa sono. I see a reversing in and you making sure say we put competent people at various positions. And I did about Ghana for Gina so to Abama Mahama pa ma we fit da accountability.
Accountability.
Holding these criminals accountable. Alaska, that is a sacred your friends say foremost your friends have responsibility that has been imposed on President Mahama. Or renege on it, Alaska disaster will before this government. I'm telling you.
Mame Mao, near your time. Mame Mao.
We don't have a conversation. What question? I just ask. Yeah.
Mame Mao, near Makuma Kutena, Mahama near Tuja. So the first 90 days.
Okay.
Oba Obeye. Ivan, the first 90 days, day one. Was it within 14 days? You're sworn in within 14 days.
Yeah.
About nominate, nominate within first 14 days.
Okay.
The first 14 days, the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval.
Okay.
That is one. Yoko 2. Constitute the leanest and most efficient government in the first 90 days in office.
Yes. 3.
Establish a robust code of conduct and standard for all government officials.
Okay.
Yabano, 4. Hold a national economic dialogue to discuss homegrown physical consolidation solutions.
Yeah.
Yaba 5. To scrap e-levy, COVID levy, 10% on bet winners, and emissions levy within first 90 days in office.
Okay.
Yaba 5. Your cost 6 in the say. Commence drafting needed. Legal amendment and prepare for implementing the 24-hour economic policy.
Okay.
Yaba 7. Implement the no academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions. I mean, call 8 and that was 8. Institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets. 9. Institute forensic audit into banking sector collapse. COVID-19 expenses. Other reckless NPP spending and scandals. And I have a last one. Reopen probe into 2020 election killings. Ayawaso by election violence. Murder of Ahmed Swale and others.
Alaska.
The first 90 days.
So Mahama first 90 days in summer okay alone. No. If you expand it, it tells you how irresponsible Akufo-Addo has been. Got in seminar boss no about bear 4 effort within the remit of Akufo-Addo. I think why Mahama any ways of bear. For instance, Ayawaso, Petitions shooting and others. These are things that 4 years ago we should have investigated and make sure say families involved no are either compensated and criminals involved are prosecuted. But he didn't do any of these things. So and the sword now falling on the new government to take this upon itself to ensure say obeyes are there no because Ghanaians are still asking for it. The election year another people are saying
number 5
are saying Alaska and Akufo-Addo the same person. So in some now, I'm sure say they are not things that workers want to mean yet 90 days. But you see, the governance now can extend beyond this. These are the preliminary stage I set it. So you can easily do this. I mean, Alaska, one attribute, the biggest one of them, is the president being strong-willed person, very assertive and very authoritative, because there will be a lot of people who rise Alaska. They will also want their interest taken care of. So we are president now will show any sign of weakness that you are dead. Any slightest sign of weakness as a leader, as a president, you are dead. Because the people will rise above you and do what these people did. And in order to send a clear message, we need to constitute a team of investigation into all the criminal scandals
That's right.
From Cecilia Dapart to whoever. Because my catcher said, if we don't do this, then we should forget it. The government will lose the support of the people. Because a lot of people voted because they wanted accountability.
Do you know why Ghanaians voted for Nanado in 2016?
Okay.
He came at the back of fighting corruption.
Yes.
Because you target John Dramani Mahama say, or you corrupt.
Yes.
Okay, Ghana first say, it is idea. You're too about the amount.
Fighting corruption.
Fighting corruption. Oba no crowd,
No.
So now, Bebrena say about yourself to about the amount, John Dramani. And Ivan, another one, the so-called opinion leader chiefs. Any a software, so be ya bonia. And they make us a software opinion leader should leave Mahama alone. None and Kasa is in appointees. But here what is a minute me or him be near yes, so mu. So
that is why
that's right.
You need to be very strong and assertive. Alaska, yes, definitely you do consultation, but as a leader, you know who and are qualified for whichever role you want to assign the person to. If you allow external influences to get over you, then you lose your leverage. What I say? So at this time, no, in as much a consultation and co or happen, no, you are the man in charge, Alaska, because Nippon no. Their failure will translate into your failure.
Exactly.
And their success will translate into Akufo-Addo ba ya boni dey help for me. Amamoni no nkwa na bu you.
That's right.
But today because on the president,
he's the arrowhead.
He's the arrowhead of your boni. And then make say whether he will fail or be successful, the choice is yours to make, and it include whoever you appoint to be part of your team. Yes, among for we are hungry na deben why hwe na wa hu say power no nya party na yakwaje ba ye. Saka kese party no e de ba benefit na mbom ye Ghana for and unanimously atranse who say enough of this nonsense and we want to change. We are changing for a better your friends Ghana because Ghana for are looking at a Ghana hope to average and the ordinary Ghanaian.
Exactly.
Hope for the hopeless. Alaska na nipa obunni bi ombenya say yemso ye wani da so. You wake up a day, you have talent in you. You know there are platforms and avenues. If the government can set up a thinking shop somewhere, get people, yes, you see, you need innovative ideas.
That's right.
For instance, and if I sit down, I'm a Tenassia here, America, and Nigeria for crying, comedy has become one of the booming enterprises.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria. Okay, US are some of the guys doing comedy. They are all billionaires. Yes. Na Ghana crowd the comedy no money me. Nipa no mo ye comedy no. Kan kra.
Politicians.
I don't see any comedian in Ghana. Just nipa no gina o appearance in the oye no kra bufu time. Because you see ana make say ye nim de ye is it because yemfa wisdom back it.
Mama nche Jaku.
Mama nche wa dey about comedy. So for so ye comedy wa. So o hear comedy o hear national theatre. Nipa no ba or the table the minimum or your friend is saying or painting nim why you say so psychologically when you see that person laugh be about laugh and laugh for we so what American so whatever that comes out of the person's mouth it can never get you anywhere.
That's right.
But in America obi no be comedy or dress up with suit address it like a bank manager. The last thing you expect from that person is comedy. So anything he says, even if it is not funny, you will laugh.
That's right.
It's common wisdom, but if I know about Okala or the table born in minimum, I say so who na already know what's that there is not even through a numa bar way. So Alaska, some of these things,
Now,
Sawati, not Samaba.
Yes, Alaska. And you see, we have a lot of guys who are very funny.
Kuma
Wood, for instance, some of the guys, in as much as Omunya or mentor money or guide you, they are doing their own thing. So anything who know, but we have some of the guys now. You see, they have talent. Even your college and academy, be cry or go through. That's a diploma. You attach certain wisdom bit to it. So you teach them some of this technique so that our comedians can even travel outside Ghana to go and make money.
Exactly.
So as government, you have to identify all these things. And the movie is another booming enterprise. And some of the emerging economies are doing then a movie, a concert be na yeah. We need to set up these academies. So at the end of the day, people from school will have that then as a career path. And at the end of the day, when they are coming up, may catch us some movie platforms nothing stops us from creating our own Netflix and our own.
I think, sir, Ivan, you must be useful. Very useful on my buying way. I want him, sir. When you go to our MMDAs, the district and multiple district assemblies, I want to say you.
Yes.
Car assume assemblies, as well, no.
Yes.
So it's not going to be business as usual.
No. Alaska.
Huh?
Yes. So you need to, you see, Makata said, Nipa no more, my your potential. So your government, your job is to identify all these potential and look at areas a bit to spread your so that people will not be crowded. Because and I'm for a year, Juma. You don't make me I want me Juma monthly to have a Kabia Menjen yet. What I say? Because there are several other individual we are bit on your own. What I say? So with me, yes, I near mano, not other avenues. People are making money from there. You see, easy pressure on the government. Exactly. What I say? Okay, I'll be feeling relaxed because some academy I know today, a produce comedians, a big produce actors, and then as a forum, and you have a platform streaming up, and then as a forum, those movies, Ghana for a year, you can open up TV station. I pay per view. Oh, that's alright, Opa. There is a television called G Movie Ghana, Alaska. You pay 1 CD, you unlock it, you watch it for the whole day. In a year, do you know the amount of money you can make?
That's right.
So these are innovative ideas. I can't just say, and yet, Saturday for an Ameba Hatcher. And I answer, how are you one in Alaska? I buy a mono in your bar. Nippo more deposit from Tete. Samre diabetes in a way, on my trans, I take care of. Yeah, the very people now, upper market somewhere. I buy about 80% of our points will be the same old group now. Nothing will change.
Now me work kindergarten, me work kindergarten and meet you Osafumafu.
Good.
Osafumafu with the minister.
Yes.
Ni nana
Nema bedibi.
You see?
Yes. That is the problem.
How many are there?
What way who has to come be now nobody will even speak on your behalf. Oh, Nyansabu team. Yes, sir. Tetin Samna. Oh, wait. So, appointment, we end up enlisting the same people who were in the past. And one thing I love about American politics in Alaska. Trump about 2016.
Analog, I drink one.
Trump about 2016. I was saying about BM. Go and look at the appointment. Even though you have few people in the way of moving,
very sharp brain.
You see, because politics is that whenever you bring in new people, you bring new constituency. But that person comes with his own followers and stuff. So you expand your scope. Then as a forum, new ideas come to bear, new way. Catch them. Or suffer for buying where Bamians assemble or the back home. Apart from so creative scandal, they be. But oh, your senior minister could for pencil what do there again? I open and that is the problem. And these are people around. And because we are president, you need to be very strong. Because most buy another young boys, the young guys, you will no mood in that time. So, of course, look at and when you so for swear,
but you nana do one mama will ban chronobo. Because if you look at Nepostiano and Chira was Ivan, another sector here total overhaul the education sector.
Oh, yes.
The free sector, right? Almost has some more secondary schools in the MPP constituency executives. Go to Obos. Kofodia Kosek headmaster no head no Uradi Yankopon. Uba come unqualified po ba party ni ya push you.
Yes, Alaska.
So mama person yes successful. Some crofuni ni na.
Oh yeah, I said he has to weed a lot.
Oh boss, who dia na make am go dia na beto.
Alaska, and I win me I don't do populist politics. Yeah. Now I'm from 1 year so. Meti free SHS. I know say you be here free SHS.
That's right.
I'm still with that conviction. I'm still with that conviction. Say there are people who can pay and even pay for others.
Exactly.
So Alaska, you just need to come up with a way of identify those outside that particular scope, provide free for them, and you can even let people own up. Those of you who can pay. Then you give them certain tax waiver, certain tax incentive. Now, there are several ways. But there are corporate organizations, multinational companies, or music and but every mile who TV subia program be MTN and sponsor Vodafone sponsor.
That's right. They can go there and sponsor this
this MTN Vodafone can take care of 10,000 students every year as a social corporate responsibility.
Me so use for my boy.
Oh, masa.
Free consultation.
Alaska, Chroma no nipanya tumia. It's a different ball game altogether. They don't even care that you exist in those kind of stuff. So don't build expectations to be disappointed. I think that we all want
the betterment of
best. I just want to wake up a day where average and ordinary Ghanaian, no, obia bet between the session the bottom of the day. What a chrome, that's a winning, we will be a winning yansa. Now that's sorry, now what's the estate, when I will keep the attack, I said, as for not in terms of what to know. Obia no more samosa don't be the chromunya, but I know you don't know Mamudi did 5 times a day. Obi one day, crow, Yanawi and Sania, over who's there. It's a binyaman quay. We just need to build a just society where people, may say young people will not only have hopes and dreams, now they also have financial independence. That independence, you know, about translating into the way our more thinking and as a forum. And Alaska, the SCNA, I start is the beginning. No, Ghana, yeah, democracy, no, yeah,
oh, that's right.
And the foundation that Mahama will build today, no, and the better take off. So if you will build good foundation, you know, say there is a future. And I'm sure, say next time round, you know, once I never quite, I'm for Nije for Mahama being here, and they say, if you consider problem Ghana for them. And the fact that Obama, he's coming with an experience.
Exactly.
Because this is a president that one opportunity to be there. Oko Fieno, one the mistakes, one the strength. What I say, and when you chance to undo them. So it's a perfect arena for him to be successful.
But now he's aware of the
problems,
challenges.
Nema, the regret. 40 years is here. Whatever he sees as a regret during his time, when your opportunity to go back and correct. But then. President Mahama, God being so good, and the opportunity, even though it was 4 years, is going to correct some of the wrongs and then do best. So I think that unusing this particular opportunity to build the legacy Ghana for will remember him forever, just like Kwame Nkrumah Biabonidino. What I say,
right?
And Ghanaians will remember him forever. And I think that all that we need. Don't come and say when the boy power. No. Every time be independence, but be a man for making sacrifices.
That's
right. 2016, you
even
that's the ultimate sacrifice.
Even 2024,
2020, a man for
2024,
ultimate sacrifice. Some people have lost their jobs because of this. Me catch say I lost my job somewhere 2016 because of politics.
That's right.
I'm for me free control. Yes, for politics as well. I don't care.
Right.
So. A man for the sacrifices, and you'll be all the campaign, Chikobank sacrifice. So now you should know, sir, a man for sacrificing a lot for us to get to where we are. Obianka said, Tamsika Mobia, and I said, Mobia, do the right thing. Yendema, a bit me a Boama Ghana for, who said, change now, you're fighting for, you know, Alaska, change papa. Now Ghana for no more. So in the next 4 years, you know, say Ghana for Casa, Monsign twice, so I don't you know, sir, or more twice because. To me now with the money pan young go and must
right.
Ya twaso and I think say yan sa. Eba boy nyina power no Alaska enya we ya dan o time so work ofi. I go for the bar 2016. Now free so nkwada o.
That's right.
O kwatena fie.
And I jam.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Alaska. Akwana na photo so ano si a Jubilee House or say power me or ever.
Not coming.
Or ever. I told you said these are cowards and jokers. Let him come and say, "Oh, hand it over." Handing over, baby, I hand it over. Oh, he's irrelevant.
It's your way, mommy. The thing about the NPP party, I about Benny. See, I'm about to have person so. Me and the power, I'm my NDC.
When you to prempa, Ghana for Yawa, and Kashra, could you have any bar? We are seeing a kitao.
Right.
Because of politics now, yeah, I have phone into no. Nipa be broha, sebi, Gomunimians saw or Mudinipa him. By now, I'm said politics and I have phone to no. Or my friend Nipanum. Now, I get to where they are today. And some of these display actually clearly where we are. Akufo-Addo, have you seen that Akufo-Addo has changed?
Oh, yes.
you see that kind. He's so endearing, so happy, cooperating. That kind of.
That's right.
Because pressure fano, he cannot dare so hand you over.
I see Mahama win, you know, I decisive.
Exactly. So every another Ghana formation, all of a sudden, Akufo-Addo has changed.
Sure.
So Professor Nana J, baby, and so Chiano Crano, Chiano, no, you know, two.
Baby, and so Crano.
Yeah, because MPP party, no, Omuhuni says, whenever you brought some, what's our petty. So the only way to me is to do these things. Me handy over me handy. I say I'm growing no moody, chaos, and I'm threatened. And I know I saw another joker on TV. Your friend is saying, you say your fro be another pray.
Frank, I don't know.
On TV, so your press conference said, Akufo-Addo and handy over. Transition,
say the same thing.
Alaska, or Akufo-Addo phone number. You don't need a press conference.
That's right.
So when you so bet you now respect.
I'm not what you support.
And I'm going to say he's a joker. And you're on the coca say sense no pen, you know, sense. Now, I can't say Muru and Nipa to Abama. Alaska, and I'm because a time so. Nipa no musu nim faswa omunni adwede politics. We need to flash all of them out.
Right.
Sabaya more intelligent people will come into the political scene. Because the more wise people will come, the more we stand a chance of solving our problems. The more you import idiots onto the stage, the more we compound our own problem. Nandeka the whole Ashanti region. Obako nipo di omoni me ya find say won to me. Who MPP Obako Bruno na ye say how did it happen?
May I say I'm Kyei Innocent and I'll tell them Kano. I was saying from Alaska that the commander with a commanding voice. You have a call, but Mamika said, Michel, yeah, no, yes, so you see, we have your credibility and your track records. The fact that the NDC have power doesn't mean the say. I was saying NDC might be not or Chandy and Namha near. Yeah, they are buying number power. You be making sure, sir.
For office is a quadri envelope.
That be, yeah, common, you know, young call be a hot da. Young.
Obia so cram for you see sometimes people don't know this up and down radio up and down. Obia no because no they don't even care.
Exactly.
What has happened now can so you did this thing
out of
one cause of personal conviction. What I say was nipa bre and we can't sit down and keep quiet. Obeti Obia say no be na kwakomuska. Do you know what it takes to be running around Obia mouth here?
Exactly. So me no medumara and I'm nasi. Say at least maybe I'm
this even radio station where come
exactly
aduma aye radio station nya hane na etiti ditwa wo kesika wo na chairman nya open sesame
ndabi anya
open sesame
anu ne dey
I say ukoti ahane na kan open sesame na dan
siga gari so I'm forever grateful to Dr. Samofuso Ampofo, right? The American say yeah and we are not going to be a praise singers, bootlickers. We brought Mahama, all right. Obiasu ni meduma yaye. But the fact is that Mahama but does not mean the say because se Mahama be ye economy ne jina so a ye nkola ye wo omuko school a ye betro ma de papa. Niema be koye, oko passport officer niema be koye. And we don't expect to say ye centrefo na at the expense of others omobre no na makwa ji de aba be shame ho na others suffer. No. We won't do that, but he will make sure, say, the right thing must be done. Who's about what being said, who your henny, who the pressure be, unnecessary pressure be, but sir, yeah. This will never move.
Appointment and all in this year. And yet, you Alaska, sir, what's some unya, send a pattern about point or more, or catch your movie, and no one will be out with the crew of an henny, and I, the soft penny, not the number. Or catch you almost said, Miss William, that is why I'm giving you this position. You are going there, Kwashamani Munyam. Now, Mokono Kodin Semuna, more I am for now software, and a model by Pamichow.
That's right.
And to move a foot to be a won't fund two or more, and son of Marco grounds. Because Okodin Semuna or Banner do it is of a Pamichow over them.
Not I say.
Simple as that.
Right. And see, any other catcher, we are not here to sing praises, but we'll make sure say Bama Mahama are you successful. 0303 402 and 0303 402 0541 82 5106. You have few way to go to bar. You simple for mommy. Good evening.
Alaska, Dado.
Yes, sir.
Alaska, Baba, meaning Petitions.
Baba, tell.
Alaska, Yakupo, and Shiro. A Jumadea, Wayama, Ghana, Nina, and we share, especially to the money, Mama, and Yakupo, and Shiro. Now, Alaska, my catcher, my yɛda wɔn ase ɛna mɛka kyerɛ so ndc fo a wɔn kɔyɛ skɛtɛm blast a wɔn de gu sebi wɔn bɛ sɛ wɔn de gu ndc anim ase ɛwɔ so wɔn no yɛda wɔn ase na wɔn mɛrɛ bɛba paa plant bi a woyɛ ne de sɛ woyɛ skɛtɛm blast nyinaa yɛatoto tie di na wɔn kan ho ne sɛ wondi mi aburo na sebi wodi party na aburo inshallah sɛ akɔ wɔyɛ ni abɔ pɔnkye ofi sɛ ɔde ne tututù dan no ɔsɛɛ dan wɔn nso ɔsɛɛ ne to ho.
Meda say good evening.
Alaska one.
Yawuza.
Debu Alaska Minio. Na muka Dr. Pusampo for one sem. Da papa no me de minim asida ya de be mano. Sebi ye ti se tumpan uto ye ho ahwemba. Nemo ye be bompa ya mano sa obosampo. Me say e pese ye for ye ntintu amano kwa. Ye de yetibe to amano. When you are politician, doctor, John Daman Mama, Papa Wenty, you bring it down so, and you need to for the mini Alaska. And the man yan senino, also me tear futu, and I'm Marquasiano, so Nisu said, yes, Alaska. Who did that one year? Takatana, somewhere Katos, who did JB? And yet, to me, upon Tronipa, to me, exercise, etc. Yes, Alaska, Banana, Papa, now we need to release a Papa brand was it, so Kaya Sonasono, Papa, and I'm in the Papa and the Payana, Papa, never catch us a John Draman, Mama, my dear Mano, no one more baby pa, now once or more, or near to be the near side, Alaska. Yeah, come, son, scare me, Gusu, no one tell me, Papa, me, what you say me, because John Draman, Mama, what point is you over you all? Maybe I catch a play. So, who Babylon is a corner. Give it to respect. I'm telling you.
Meda say good evening.
Fine evening, Alaska Dodo.
Uwa Elibo, Yanko.
Just Juna Alaska nigga say Elibo to Alaska Mamichia and Mr. Ivan, my boy, Juma Papa. Mojuma so abban faso. Mo brain na a saban faso. Your best sire NDC food na ni Ghana my umuya reshoma. Your papa Dramani Muno. Say mumu so papa John Dramani. Because you two mu so mo kan before no. Anything na mo kasa sa no. Yes sir. Mumu nya reshoma John Dramani na Ghana enko nenum. Na John Mahama amodo betra 8 years no. You betra 8 years. Muni ya menya juma.
Menso meda se papa mami fa ayo frofo. Good evening.
Alaska the Dawn.
Yes sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, boss.
Yeda mo se. The free asham.
Okay, Woody.
Savior
Yanko.
Yeda mo se. Yeda. Avan. Nyamishra no bebre. Asemo aka no ye no correct 50 say for mu buy no. Ase so mu panya safo mu kwa kan no. Na juma Ghana for person mu buy no. Omo ye akwani. Yeda mo se.
Right. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Alaska.
Good evening, Babi Akasefi.
Ebo Amos from Ejuma Commando.
Ebo Yankoi.
Alaska, is a national more. Alaska, Abu Juma Pa, Abu Juma, Wijma, say, Yamisho. Mincha Subio Command about to force an NDC people. Be Gala campaign Gala, Eradisho, the best of Mahama. Yazika so near here, higher price control. More job for pricing in your private sector. So, also, maybe them will be offered a price in or a town or be offered stable. The only time they offer a COVID book or down or a bet in book or down. Now, other offense taxes. Yet then, as a part or but on your more than Ghana for pay in my now we talk for what charity of money.
Right. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Alaska.
Yes, sir. Madodi.
Within the elder Anthony, the president can say.
Hey! Ada, Yamasun drink out.
And council, Alaska. Many break Yamika is a Yakupua, Usira, Ubin to me and Domino. On Shira, Alaska. As you must pa, would you need to dear, Ukra, and a bois for dear Edima or my Ghana. Mr. Cabin Yakupo, Ushira.
Amen.
After insulin, Paboni, my dear, and say, Yam Papa John Dramani Mahama Ghana for Afino Atlantina Babiono. Unyakupon Bambo Fua, or Bob Bihuba, Obin to me, Fan Papa Boneswallow. onko so emo ne ho ban ni obehihye boni ni obehihye ohaw ni obehihye niguase e de ama yem papa no onyankopon ema enan enye nhira ni nkoso ema yem papa no papa sa pa bo bi na de bia sida ubisa me boma yem papa no let's say ema esi he ya ma enkoso na sida bia ne enkoso mo paye emta ye papa na echi se de be ja o my Ghana e be fa ni tuma fanfra ni chia yem papa John Dramani Mahama sounds na mi chia Prince Kwedu Ado Sembre it don't watch yankopon kan ho
on kan so oh too bad good evening
Alaska
but we didn't ba bia ka sofi
the Catholic phobia this one e fe innocent
yanko
to me no ye fama to me ni MPP delegate for them to me no Ghana for them and ne e the to me na ma John Dramani Mahama ono do be bu mana amaye
right
that's come amati
so madam say good evening
whatever is that
but we didn't ba bia ka sofi
yeah very quality
hey ojeje
Alaska
yes sir
country politicians